the sacrifice you have to give of your time, of your loved ones, of your hobbies, of, simple thing of cooking food, I lost that because I'd come home, it's 9 o'clock, and one dehydrated carrot is sitting there, so it really was like a funny balance. And I think that's what made me kind of question my life choices, that book. Because one job after another, suddenly you're working with Brad Pitt and you think, my God,
Ooh.
life is good. But actually it wasn't.
Real people, real stories, and real challenges that break the status quo. I'm your host, Živile, and welcome to Perception Paradise. Welcome.
Welcome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today we have here with us beautiful Iveta. She's an artist. That's how I call you, I think. So, how are you doing today?
Hi, Živile. Thank you for having me. I feel great. It's the end of the summer and I slept lots and sunbathed lots, so I think my mood and health is great.
Vitamin D is in place.
It's the most important one, I think. So I've got plenty I can share.
Amazing. Sharing is caring. I think I've got some too, so
that's great. Yeah,
I'm fine
you
for
look
now.
tanned actually. So
do I? Mm-hmm. I think I lost my tan already.
No. The key is not to shower too often.
All right. So talking about the sun and the good day and sleep. So how does the day of an artist look like?
Well, at the moment it's quite unusual, I suppose, because I've just moved to Vilnius from my hometown. So at the moment, I'm starting to establish new routines again because it's been a bit hectic the whole summer. I did whatever I wanted. But since I have a dog, I think my morning starts rolling out of bed and my dog is already there being like,
oh,
and then I have to take him out. So I look like, my mom once called me, she said, it's good that the dog is pretty, otherwise people would think you're homeless. Because my hair is all messy. I'm wearing loose trousers, splashes of paint, and some t-shirt I slept in. So it's not really like a representation. But I walk my dog, then I come back, I have my coffee. I have read this book called An Artist's Way.
Oh, actually, I have it here.
It's changed my life, actually.
Did it?
Yeah, it's, I think, one of the catalysts that started a change in my whole life, because I read it a couple of years ago when I was still living in London, working in film, and I was quite unhappy. My health was a bit kind of just, I wasn't very good. I think I didn't feel like I'm in a good place, and I read it and I started journaling. It's one of the tasks that she asks to do.
For 12 weeks, right? You have to journal
every day, 3 pages each day. And I wrote it every day. I woke up a bit early before work so I complete my pages. And I think she was correct, because after the initial page or two, maybe a week or two from the beginning, you start to actually ease into who you actually are and what you want. And that was like a therapy for myself, because I managed to almost unlock the doors that I kept secret from myself. And writing it down meant that I'm slowly thinking, because when you think, you're very fast and your thoughts are caught by other things. And there I was present with my notebook, and I started writing it down, and I realized that I am not living the life I want to live, or I think I will live in the future, and nothing I'm doing now will lead me there. And I thought, this needs to stop, and everything has to change fundamentally. So I still write my morning pages. So I come back from my dog.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And I still do it because I think it really is the time for yourself, because we all care about physical body. We go running and to the gym, but not many of us allow stillness and clarity to appear. And it can only come from being still. I think from actually opening it up, this door, this like inner self to you. And so I write the pages, and then I open up my to-do list and I see what I haven't done yesterday, and it's a lot. And I just do little arrows and I think, oh, today is the day I'm going to tackle that. And my problem is that I always write monumental tasks. It's like, I'm going to finish my website. And to finish the website, you have to pull out all your work, to take beautiful photos, edit them, blah, blah, blah. And I do like, I'll do it in 2 hours. And that's why I never finish it. So it's always a little arrow to another day.
So you have a big vision, but you never break it down.
Yeah,
I have the
exactly.
same, yeah.
I think that's my problem, actually. I'm not very meticulous with planning, and I always think things will happen faster, but I don't take into account that someone will ping me and I'll be like, oh, I wonder who says hello.
Yeah.
And then, or you just, and I think I've realized recently I'm so bad at the moment with concentration because of Instagram and all the social media, of this constant change of
Yeah.
information. I can be doing something, and then suddenly I stand up from my chair, I go to the bathroom, and I massage my face with gua sha. Because I think this is because it came to my mind. And someone said it's ADHD.
I was about to say, it sounds like neurodivergence,
But I think it never used to be like that. I think now I'm allowing myself to find new habits of my routine because I don't have a boss who tells me, by 12, you have to do this and that. So my time is, like, now I'm the master of my time. And I think I'm allowing myself to play. And so I do some work at the computer, and some Instagram takes a lot of time. You couldn't tell looking at it, but actually, like, real.
I mean, ChatGPT told about your profile, right? That it looks like from the gallery, so perhaps you put some effort there.
Yeah, it's like finding photos, editing, because not often I have a good lighting in my studio. So then I have to edit them all in, and I thought I'm gonna start making reels. So I take like a couple of hours to do that. And then it's painting, mainly small work, we have to order canvases, etc. So a normal day would be, a good day would be a little bit of work in the morning. I don't work more than 4 hours a day. I've realized like I don't have to. I'm very quick at what I do. And if I need, and I think actually being artistic, it takes a lot of energy. I know it sounds stupid when you think, oh, an artist just sits there, but we have to. You have to be still and think things through. My partner often laughs that I need, like, he's like, why are you not doing it? I said, I am in my head. I need time to plan it. And maybe I'm not starting.
You mean the painting, right?
More like processes. I think I'm in my head, I'm visualizing furniture or the future projects. And until I'm ready and I know exactly what I want, and not often it is the visual side. I don't know how the painting will look, but I know that I will want to have this size or achieve this diameter, etc. Only then I go into it. And I think actually that's what tires me more. So the new thing I think I'm gonna try is think less and do more. Because sometimes I'm overcomplicating things by thinking, oh, but how will people take this cover off and wash it? Will they wash it, or will they take it to a dry cleaner? Blah, blah, blah. And I go into this really long trail of nonsense. So I think I should just do and
write the manual what not to do with the piece.
Exactly. I know, exactly.
I mean,
I think I don't trust people a lot to think I've
No, we don't read manuals. I ruined a lot of poses like that.
Yeah, me too. I ruin them all the time. Surprisingly, I love clothing, and I want to do some fashion as well. But I think I actually sometimes deliberately ruin them, I think, by thinking I have too much, and
and you will see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I've done that with one dress as well.
I just don't want to say goodbye, but if it's ruined, then it's easier. So I said accidentally
That's
throw it
mean.
into like.
That's not sustainable.
Yeah, I know, but I'm getting better.
That's good. I'm glad about that. Whoa, okay, so you have quite an entertaining day all the time, it seems like that.
Yeah. I think it sounds like that, actually. Obviously, you have the normal struggles everybody has when you question, oh, what is the point of all of this? And sometimes when you read the news or see what's going on, it's hard to think my work is important, because you think you're just sitting there creating beautiful pictures, and you think, wow, people, all the wars, etc.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think recently I listened to this quote and I quite liked it. It said, there are only two important days in your life: is the day you're born and the day you find out. No, the day you find out why.
You're lying.
And I really loved it. I think,
wow, okay.
I thought, okay, why am I here really? Because of all my work. I've done film for 6 years. I studied architecture. I've changed 3 countries. I lived on a boat for a year. I really have had so many experiences. And I sometimes still want to find out why I am here and what is my mission. And I think that's why I'm so restless, because I cannot be stuck behind a screen or in a box in an office. I need to go and meet people and experience and to think, and I went to this futurologist. I forgot her name, but she was in Vilnius, and it was
Okay.
Lamos Leno Pasivaikščiojimai, one of these Lithuanian magazine kind of podcast things. And she was talking a lot about design and health and the present moment. And I actually thought, I'm so obsessed with time. I'm always really trying to achieve things now. I don't see myself as an old person. And I think it's been in my whole life that if I decide I want something, it has to be today. I don't want it tomorrow, now. And listening to that, I kind of stopped a little bit and I thought, maybe my mission, the reason I'm here, is to just share beauty, to create more kind of beautiful spaces and kind of try and encourage people to be more present and accept it all and understand. Like, when you're in a big gallery and you see like Pierre Solage, for example, these massive paintings with maybe just black color, and it's just the way the light hits them and the reflection it gives, that's what makes it all, the complexity of the painting. And you are so present and so connected. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That I think, wow, it kind of is almost like a little bit of therapy to me. So I thought, maybe I shouldn't try to cure world hunger. Like these big things you think you're here to do, but actually maybe my mission is to be this exciting, happy person that brings light in life and share it with others who are maybe stuck or need to hear it. But then I thought, oh, it's so big-headed. I took the bus home. I thought, calm down, go home.
So wait, you have your mission now or no? Did
So
you find
I don't know, exactly that day, I felt like I did. I almost got emotional.
When did that
thinking,
happen?
Last week, actually, the day before I was supposed to record it, before I got ill.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, I feel so much beauty around me, and I felt so high of it, actually. But this is the thing, I think, because we are so conditioned to go in one path constantly. I have these glimpses of beauty now more than ever, but I need to hold on to them, because sometimes the next day and the struggle of maybe life or whatever will take it away, So I think this is why it's important to kind of have as many of those you can, write it down and try to reflect on that the next day. So I still don't know what my mission is, but I think now I'm happy that at least I'm I'm present in what's going on today.
And you're on your path.
And I'm on my path. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But then I really, before we get a bit more into art, I have some business questions related to that as well. I would like to go back into your previous experiences and where you're coming from, right? It's quite interesting. You were studying architecture, so right? I guess with a vision to become an architect. I mean, that's why usually you go there. But then you end up in the film industry and you managed to get yourself involved working with really big players like Netflix, Apple TV, right?
Yeah.
These are the brands every person who is into movies or documentaries or some kind of art in that area is dreaming about. How did you move from architecture to the movies industry, and why architecture from the first note?
That's a very difficult question. Why architecture? It's actually a very funny answer, and it may, make me look stupid, but I'll tell you anyway. I had a gap year, and before I left school, I wanted to work in theater as a makeup designer.
Or you wanted to?
I wanted to. And I left school thinking I'm gonna become this amazing makeup designer, because I didn't really think what I'm good at. I just that's what I was good at, makeup, not on myself, but I think just to kind of create interesting illusions on the face, because I was practicing with sisters. I've got 3 sisters, so
okay, you've got quite a lot of models to practice on.
Yeah, it came naturally. And the thing is, I then had a gap year, and I think slowly I realized that what I'm interested in are stories. I think I like framing things and almost leading the viewer. Like why I loved films so much is when you watch a good film, it stays with you. It maybe gives you something in your life and is the story that moves you. And I think now on reflection, I think I never thought I'd be good enough to be in film. Film when we were growing up was such an exclusive thing. Oh, he works in film. You think he's just a bit better than you.
Inaccessible.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, I thought maybe you have to be rich or very intelligent. I thought I'm neither. But so basically, after a year, I thought, I really enjoy making spaces, and I think architecture will be good for me. And I started, and I basically worked at it for 4 years, and I had a year in an industry. It's a part of the curriculum in the UK. You study for 3 years, a year out in an office, and then you come back for the final year. So it's bachelor with honors. And when I got a job in an office, I remember maybe 5 weeks in, I looked around and everybody's sitting behind these big computers, and all you hear is like click, 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 the mouse clicking. And I thought, I have to be inspired enough to want to become like you guys, but I don't see anything worse. Like, your day is what makes your life. It's the simple things. And then I left the practice and I started volunteering in lots of things like textiles and woodworking. I was working as a waitress to keep myself afloat, and I was just doing all these things. And I actually think I had the best time. I still reflect on that time as one of the most life-changing ones because I finally had the time. When you're studying at school, you have to do all this. I went to music school, I went to horse riding, then at uni, you're always working, and I was always working as a waitress as well, part-time to have money. And that opened up the field of time, and I thought, okay. So I had my first art exhibition because I started painting quite intensely with that time. And then from a funny, this synchronicity,
Yeah.
a woman came to my exhibition opening and she loved my work, and we got talking, and she said, oh, I work in film actually. And I said, I really would like to start as well because I've realized architecture is not for me, and how can I take my skill into this other field? And she gave me a list of like a database where you can find all the emails of art directors. And she said, start emailing, send them your CV, your portfolio. And so basically that's what I did. And out of 40 people, nobody replied. Maybe 2 people said no thanks, and the others said nothing. So I thought, okay, kind of like that's gonna be a bit tough. But I knew that I have to go back to uni for the last year. I wasn't gonna quit. So I sent all the emails, nothing came my way, and I started the last year. But in the last year, I focused on architecture and film. So I analyzed Roman Polanski's films.
Wow.
I love him.
I love him as well.
I know he's a controversial figure.
Yeah.
But I listened to so many interviews, and I think being Eastern European and having grandparents that ran away from all sorts, and kind of I totally saw his vision and his life and his struggle, and I got so involved. And I actually, at one point, I even consider having an academic career. I thought, oh, I should just read as much as I can because I was stuck in the library, books about all these things, and I got so involved in film. And the design project was a bit about the film school in Glasgow. Oh my God, sorry, by the way. I always talk so much.
But it's very interesting.
You asked me a question.
You keep a storyline, so I'm now hooked. I know some parts, but I'm hooked now because I forgot some of them.
I'm like my mother. We start from Eve and Adam, Every story.
Okay, good. Beautiful.
So anyway, and I basically did the architecture project. I was so involved. I was so kind of into it. I couldn't stop. And basically, I finished uni. I think I had 2 weeks off, and I was working as a waitress, and I received an email from this woman saying, oh, by the way, that you sent me an email 9 months ago. Are you still looking for a job? It's like, oh my God, yes. And especially now, I'm
Hi,
free.
it's me. I'm free.
And I had to have 3 interviews, which is unheard of actually in film. You normally have one, or you get jobs through the word of mouth because people know you. So Yeah, it was kind of, and straight away it was a Netflix production of Outlaw King. It was a big medieval drama, and it was a London production that came to shoot in Scotland. An American production designer, he's amazing, Don Burt. He's OCD, very much so, but he taught me a lot. He was just, I think he was an auteur, if you could say it. He wasn't really a designer of masses. He had his processes, and he actually hated that job because it was a lot of big, massive scenes for
Okay.
war and, you know, soldiers and
Wow.
horses.
Yeah.
It was actually mad for me to a girl off the street who had never had an experience in film to come into an art department that had maybe 40 people plus a decoration, had another
That's
10.
huge.
That's a
huge.
lot,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I just done the last film I've done, it was 3 people, you know. So having 40, and I was a draftsperson, so I was drawing the sets, and it was great. And I think that's what kind of straight away launched me into this career of film, because first I was good at it because I did architecture, and I think in general I have quite good common sense. So I think that's really worked in my favor, because you spend 11, 12 hours with people. So a person who can laugh and knows a good joke, and I wasn't,
Yeah.
like if someone is annoyed, I wasn't at their desk asking for something. Like I knew the etiquette somehow, like without being told what to do. And that was really it. I straight away started, and it was actually another funny thing. I can tell you about the wages because everybody's so curious about film and the
So,
money. So I don't remember the budget. I think maybe it was about 100 million. It was a big budget film. But I remember that after the final interview, I got the supervising art director. He's the one who judges how much to pay you. And he wrote 700 on the little piece of paper. And I had no idea what it meant. I thought he's telling me £7 per hour. And that was below minimum wage in Scotland.
yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And then he kind of made this really funny face, like almost like shocked. And then he smiled and he said, I actually don't understand what this means. And then I started laughing. I said, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. I was like, is that £7 an hour? And he said, no, that's 700 a week. And I was like, oh yes, okay, I'll take it. So it was kind of crazy to jump from being a waitress or even working as an architectural assistant. I was paid maybe 16,000 a year straight away as my entry level job, and get 700 a week, which was, almost 3 grand a month. And but I worked for it. It was crazy long hours, and the first job really formed me. I think I was tired all the time. The hours, you need to get used to working 11,
It's
12
very
hours.
different schedule, right? And you
Yeah.
have this long run of just you forget your personal life, I
Oh, for
guess.
sure. Yeah. And I think that's why I left in the end, because I always wanted to try new films, and I did quite big films as you said, and I'm lucky to have done those. But the sacrifice you have to give of your time, of your loved ones, of your hobbies, of simple thing of cooking food, I lost that because I'd come home, it's 9 o'clock, and one dehydrated carrot is sitting there. So it really was like a funny balance. And I think that's what made me kind of question my life choices, that book. Because one job after another, suddenly you're working with Brad Pitt and you think, my God,
Ooh.
life is good. Yeah. But actually it wasn't, because it's not that I hang out with Brad like, so.
What's up? How are you doing?
Yeah. It's 600 people working on one project to make it
Yeah.
come alive. And in the end, it's not about you. And then your life becomes so uninteresting because all you do is work and maybe go out on the weekends because you're still young. You want to meet people, you want to party or go to a gig or whatever.
Yeah.
And yourself, London takes ages to cross. And I was just working all the time. But that's the thing. A lot of people always would look up to you a bit. The ones that maybe want to be in film, or maybe the ones that, like The Witcher, and they were like, oh my God, you're working with these people and it's the best game ever. and it kind of boosts your ego a little bit. And that's why you think, I don't want to quit because there is 100 people behind me just waiting for me to go.
Yeah.
And it's been hard enough to go to, to come where I am. So why quit now? And I think that's what kept me going. And obviously, the more I worked, the more people I knew and people knew of my work. So I stopped needing to call people. They called me, which was another ego boost. And I don't know, I think that's why it was quite hard to stop and take time off. And I slowly started doing that. A year prior to leaving London, I would take bigger gaps in between jobs. I would go away, and I spent 6 weeks in Paris in January, wandering the streets and going to galleries and thinking about, what is the point of all of this? And I think I realized that it's not fulfilling me as much as I would like to. And now, a year out of the big industry in London, I actually had time to again reflect on all of that. And I thought, you know what? Maybe it's not about the design as such as I'm so passionate about. It's maybe the story. And I would really go back to work on films that have this amazing story that you're bringing to life, that means something, that you believe in as well. And then it's not really hard to give 11 hours of your day because you believe in the purpose of it.
I even got the shivers. That's so true. It is when you connect and then you see the meaning, and there is some message, some kind in the story that can help and influence some change
Sure.
or inspire some people. That's incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
So you still do work a bit with films.
Yeah, I think I still keep one leg in there, just
Yes.
just so they remember I exist.
Yes.
So I just came back. I went for 2 months in April, and I did a film called Mission with George Mackay. And that was the one I really loved. It was low budget, and it was only 3 people in the art department, plus me as standby art director. It was my first experience working behind the camera on set.
Oh, wow.
Because before I was in prep, I was drawing the sets, making them happen, like paint, choosing the paint with the designer, helping him basically. And I really loved it because for my character, being on my feet and being social, and plus I learned so much about the camera, about lenses, about the lighting and everything. I think I'm a sucker for learning, I have this insatiable need to know more. And I think that's what keeps me kind of going. And although I did get tired and I came back a bit ill again, I think it's just, the 11 hours, sometimes one after another. And we did a lot of evening night shoots. We would finish at like 1 a.m. And so it kind of really makes your balance go through the window, when you do it.
Sometimes that's what happens. How was the situation with your art when you were at the beginning of your film career? Did you continue playing and still finding time for it? Or there was no energy?
No, it was no energy. I would try and take my sketch pads. Often with my films, I had to live somewhere away from home, like Shetland or Wales, or all these jobs would take me to hotels, and I would take my sketch pad and try to do it in the evening. But you're so tired. Actually, like art, I think, and in general, creativity is like a muscle. You have to keep practicing it so that it comes easily. And then when you're so blocked after a while, and because the truth is, that's gonna offend a lot of people, but I realize that now after 7 years in film, actually 7, not even 5, I think I am less creative than I was when I started, because these hours, these rules, these boxes, because I'm not designing yet, I started at the bottom and I was working my way up. And actually, I think it's really good to come in without the knowledge perhaps of and feasibility of things, because that doesn't ruin the creativity that you might offer. And now someone says something to me and I'm straight away thinking, nah, that's not possible. The door is too small for the opening. We won't manage to,
you have too much knowledge already about that, and you see more obstacles than actual opportunities. I think that I can find a lot of relations into events industry. I've been working a lot, right?
Yeah.
The more you know, the more difficult it becomes. Someone will tell you, let's do this, and you have immediate instant response. No, it's not possible. I've seen this fail, and I've seen someone trying to do that. But then what I'm trying right now, I'm trying before I shoot my first answer, actually to make a pause, take a breath, and then to try to see where is that suggestions coming from. and then to see if we can really do it or we cannot.
Exactly. And I think to go back to your question, if the art was present, is basically it was so hard. I kept paying for studios because for the first time I had the money to have a studio. And obviously in Glasgow, it's cold, it's damp. You come from work, you worked from 8 till 7. You go to your studio at 7:30, 7:45. You're hungry, it's the evening. You open up the paint, and I ruined so many canvases because you still try to give something, but you have nothing there. I felt like a well, that someone took some water, the creative juice from me, and I was empty in the end. And basically, I could only do art in the gaps from one project to another. And since I had to kind of claim my name and work with whoever offered in the beginning to show that I'm keen and I'm capable, I didn't stop for 16 months. I had no time off, and I did 11-hour days every day for 16 months. And that was like the first breakdown. Like that was when I thought, okay, this is not good. I'm unhappy already. So I think this is kind of, it never stopped kind of walking by my side are saying like, hello, give me some attention, because I think I don't see anything more beautiful than a well-curated space or an artwork that really moves you. And I know that it only can come with being present and giving it time. And I think then I stopped paying for a studio and I thought I either do film or I do art. And for that point, I still chose film because I think I got offered another big job, and I thought, oh,
Never start to hang out.
Yes, exactly. You know me too well. And another thing is they offer you more and more money.
Of course.
So then you quickly calculate how much you're gonna earn in those 4 months, and you think, I'm gonna buy a big house when I come home. But then you obviously spend it all on beautiful jackets.
Okay, so talking about, let's go back again. Your decision to go full on in art. How did that happen, and where did you find the courage? Did you have some, I don't know, action plan, what you're gonna do? Did you give time for yourself to recover and get back the inspiration and creative force within?
So I had a job that lasted 10 months, and I finished in December. And that gave me a buffer of money to take time off. And I decided that I need to change my environment completely to become a new person. And I went to Paris, and I spent 6 weeks in Paris.
So romantic. So romantic.
I love France and Paris and everything.
You wanted to move to France.
I did, in Marseille, actually, and all the Parisian Frenchmen, Bah oui. Anyway,
okay.
Not anymore, because I have a partner. I'm joking, cut that out.
Okay.
But I think if you're on a diet, doesn't mean you can't look at the menu. So
love it. All right.
Okay.
So
I'm in Paris.
Paris made you inspired.
I'm in Paris. I'm walking around, and I have 6 weeks. It's January. It's grim. It's cold. I feel unhappy. I don't know why the hell I came to Paris. I don't want to be here. I just don't know where I want to be. And basically, I realized that through the artist way and still writing every day and having the time, that what I want to do is be in control of my time. I don't want to give my time and my ideas and my freedom for the money, because I don't feel fulfilled in film. I used to think, oh, it's the role, oh, it's the designer, oh, it's the film. And now I've done it all, not all, but I've done so many different things in film that I realized, no, it's not that. It's the hours, it's the mad 12-hour shifts that you have to do. It's commuting to work, commuting back, and the lack of personal time to grow. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna say, and I was still a bit heartbroken. And so it was a bit like, I'm gonna have this exhibition of letting go and saying goodbye to it all. And I made these 6 big pieces, 1.50 m by 1.50 m, and they were very expressionist kind of strokes and splashes of paint. And while making them, I thought, I've never been happier. Why is this not my everyday? Why am I trying to find where to go, how to transfer my skills where I have it in front of me? It's just scary, because when I finished film in the UK, I was earning maybe 1,800 a week. So it was a lot of money. And then I had nothing though, but because I spent it all. Where? I don't know. Maybe Paris. Who knows, you know? But and basically that's it. I thought, you know what? There isn't I actually heard that somewhere. Someone inspired me. I forgot now. Oh, you know the pin Pradėk iš naujo.
Oh, yes, I do.
So I listened to those episodes, and there was Tadas Černauskas, the artist, who said, I faked being in big galleries because nobody took me. So I went, took photos, and then stretched my work in Photoshop, and I just needed like a space to show my work. And I thought, wait a second, I follow him, I admire him, and he made it. So it means I can too. I thought, I'll fake it till I make it. And I thought there wasn't still I haven't seen a man walking down the street and fall down from starvation and, you know, lack of money. I thought someone will help. The universe will help. And plus reading all these books about changing your mindset and reprogramming your world, I do believe it. I manifest things. I'm a good manifester.
Good. Very good.
So I wasn't afraid because I knew that I know what I want now, and with the positive energy and the joy and the vibration I put out to the world.
You and I'm gonna.
Yeah, but it's true, and it happened. And actually, it was a very funny thing. I started doing these meditations, and in the end, they say, now ask for a sign, so you know that you have a dialogue. It's a two-way conversation between you and it. And I said this, I won't even say because it's not PC, but I said this like, okay, I want this to happen. And 2 days later it happened. And I was in the train and I was going home and I was smiling so much. I thought, this is dangerous, you know?
It is. It definitely is.
Think twice, you know, because things come true.
Think what you wish for.
For sure. And I think that's it. And I thought, obviously, I went back to Lithuania, to my hometown. I didn't come to Vilnius straight away. I went to my mom and dad under their wing, and their nourishment and love and a space and the sun and apples from the trees. And, you know, I was just straight back up, and that's it. And I started painting. I had my studio. The cost of living is much lower here. So the money I had saved stretched me for like 4 or 5 months. I could live without a job. And obviously, I didn't buy expensive things. I didn't travel that much. I only went to Marseille for a month. But, you know, I could do it on a budget travel. Hook me up, you know. I know how to do it. Come on.
I think we have some good tips.
Yeah. So people think it's like, oh, crazy, but actually...
Or is they're expensive? No, you can always find what fits your current needs and budget.
Yeah. And you can always walk around, go to galleries. So many galleries are free. And one more point, actually. I met this woman, and she's into neuroaesthetics and neuroscience. And basically, she told me this amazing thing that now the scientists started to look into your brain and the waves and everything that happens when you're exposed to art. Either you're seeing it or you're making it, and it involves music, it involves painting, dancing, theater, everything.
Yeah.
And basically, it works the same as any kind of meditation. It kind of boosts you with calmness and clarity, and it's scientifically now, we've got the data that shows that people live happier. It helps with depression and PTSD. And in the UK, they even had a proposal to give free tickets to like Tate shows and theater, because in London it gets quite expensive. For people from poorer backgrounds who are suffering from depression or PTSD or all these mental health problems, that they could actually go and experience art, and that would make them feel better. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, oh, this is big, you know?
It is.
And I think that's what helped me. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's very, very what you're saying, right? About you now reprogramming your brains and everything. There are so many stories. How even just, let's say, music. You mentioned meditation, right?
Yeah.
How different frequencies can literally activate our body, our mind, our brains, our organs. It can help heal. And there are so many different cases. I really hope I'm going to get this one neuroscience doctor, neurosurgeon, who is a lot into meditation. And he's also a neurosurgeon. And he wrote a couple of books, Mr. James Doty. Okay. And it's insane. You can read about him in the internet or read his latest book, actually, which is about the 6 weeks meditation course and how you can reprogram that. Because I do believe, like, we are you are what you think.
Absolutely.
You are your thoughts.
Yeah.
And that those thoughts are translating, and the same, I guess, with the career change, with success, and
Yeah.
with life. But okay, so you made this brave decision. I'm very proud of you.
Me too,
And
actually.
but now I'm curious about another topic, money and business.
Yes.
So how do you see yourself changing the narrative and the story of an artist?
Honestly, I don't think I'm a very good business person. I'm terrible at knowing my value and asking for the price. I think
That's another one to ask. How did you manage to price your also paintings?
I read quite a lot online how it should happen.
Okay.
I basically did like how much time I'm giving, how much the materials cost, and my experience, and it depends on the size, obviously, as well. So, but I kind of, in the beginning, when I had my first exhibition, I sold my work for £80, 120. The last one I sold was 1500. So, it changed quite a lot. But I think because I'm more confident in myself,
Yeah.
I also, I think, knowing how much film people make, I know that 1500 isn't that much for a painting, maybe. And I think with the confidence, it came a bit more this kind of understanding of value and investment in art as well. And I think it is slowly coming more and more that I'm reading about it and I'm in it. I grow kind of arms and legs, I'm becoming more confident. At the moment, I'm actually quite fortunate because I still don't produce overly huge amount of work. So I don't actually have much to sell at the moment. I just made a series of smalls and they're all for sale, but all the big pieces have been sold.
Nice.
And yeah, and I think actually I'm grateful to the people that support me because mainly it's people from my work, people from my environment, my mom's friends, people of my old classmates that are architects now, and
Beautiful.
I think slowly because I'm so bad at Instagram, it kind of I just don't know what I want to show the world sometimes, and therefore I'm careful of what I share. But I've noticed that even though I did little by little, people do see, people call you and say, I love this, and maybe I can pay in installments, etc. So I also started this mentorship program, how to become a business woman.
Cool, that's great.
Yes, it's called Speeches.
Uh-huh.
Now I've got two mentors, one for marketing, another for sales, and they are so insightful and so intelligent, and that's their horse, that they are riding. So they told me so many good pieces of advice about how to calculate my time and my work and how to even portray myself in front of people. And I think it really helps me now to grow this confidence. And with that, I think the money will follow. Another thing is, I do believe that I reach this flow feeling when I'm painting, that I am so happy now that you can see it and you want a piece of me and it's my work. And I don't think they are that expensive that you can't afford it. I think we need to change the perception of people that, it's for life. You could probably resell it or sell it, sell it on later on. And in general, it's a little investment because I invest in art. I buy small works by artists that I can afford, and I love it. I love supporting them, and I know how much one sale like stretches, how much it gives you. It may be confidence that someone liked it. It may be a bit of money that allows you to, buy more canvases, etc. But so far, it's been really good, actually. And I branched out into furniture. And I'm doing tufted furniture, and I have, big armchairs in the future that I want
can't
to
wait.
do.
We need to do a collab project.
Yes, please. Yeah, I really want to. Because that's another thing. I've realized I've got so many ideas and just two hands and not very like professional hands when it comes to tile glazing, for example. So I'm like, ooh, how do I do this? But I'm so excited. I sometimes can't believe that this is my life, that I get paid to have adventures and experiment and play. And that's exactly how I could describe my life. So it's really good.
How does the future look for you right now?
Oh, I'm gonna quote David Lynch. I pity I don't have sunglasses because he says, I'm sitting with sunglasses because the future is so bright.
I love it.
Yeah. And and like a pile of smoke that follows him everywhere. He's cool, and I think I'd like to become so content with what I have now and present to see it that I don't long for something in the future. That even if it doesn't go my way, I'm happy that what I have is enough. And I think that, we all need to learn that to kind of just be grateful for what you have today. And so my future is now, all the sentimental things aside, I want a big studio,
Okay, I would like it.
big
I was
windows.
about to ask if people, because you're going to be based now in Lithuania for a bit, if
Yes.
people can visit you somewhere or
Yes.
see your work.
Yes, come October, people will be able to come to my studio. Me and my sister are starting a collab. We're going to have a big space with big windows. We're going to have a couple of works to sell by other artists. I'm so interested in fashion. I want to have a couple of clothing rails, perhaps. So Hannah, me and my partner, he's a chef, and we decided to make this collaboration as well. As you said, family collaboration. My sister, my partner, is like an Italian gangster vibe,
sounds like that.
Yeah. But anyway, it's called Food and Art. Basically, I want to invite 24 people, like a small group, and match the food to the artwork that I'm showing, and through, conversation, through this beautiful tasty food and tasty wine, a bit of music, to have people discuss work by other Lithuanian artists. And so far, my concept is to have 2 Lithuanian artists and 1 foreign, to kind of have a bit of educational value in it as well. And I would love to go to an event like this myself. And that's why I decided to make it, because I think what can be better than having some friends, delicious food, beautiful art, some music, and
I was about to say some music as well, maybe.
yes, you can
some
come.
poetry.
Poetry, exactly. So that space that we are
Love it.
thinking of getting with my sister, what we are getting, is big enough to fit it all. And I think we're gonna have recurring themes. I still don't want to lose my film connection, so I really want to do a film like snob evenings,
Love it. I'll be there.
And yeah, and pair food. Maybe we're watching a Chinese film, so maybe we've got some Chinese food to pair it with. And because I grew up watching Ritas, the guy from Snobbo Naktis.
Oh, yeah.
His voice and everything.
Very solid voice.
So much. I loved it so much. It felt so special. Somehow.
I think Vitis in general is like our TV kind of setter and storytelling and voiceovering.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, his voice is
And he really knows how to tell the stories.
So I think inspired by that, I would like also to show some sort of maybe more auteur films than, Netflix productions. So I don't know. I have many ideas. I don't have that much time myself. Like I can't do it all. So I've realized I'm gonna focus at one thing at a time and hope for the best. So the future is bright, but how and when I'm gonna get there, I'm not sure. One step at a time.
The most important, have good sunglasses so the TV is not too strong, and then the rest is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good, Iveta. Thank you for coming here, sharing your story, and also a bit of a sneak peek. What does it really mean to work in the film industry? Because it's very glamorous industry and very kind of posh industry in a way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, nobody talks about the dark side, how demanding it is, and how you got back your creativity.
Yeah.
I think we will need to come back a bit in general to talk about where you get your source of okay, final question. What's your source of inspiration? Or there is no one source, I assume,
but I think a bit of everything. It sometimes it could be the shimmer of the leaves in the sun when I'm walking my dog. Sometimes it could be some soundtrack of a film I'm watching that brings me to tears. I think because now I spend more time in my head than ever before. I'm actually, I've realized like I'm so hyper and I'm such an extrovert. I never spend time on my own. Now I do that more, and I'm so curious to see what's inside. So it's actually me reliving the world through a different, changed perspective, Yeah, so
so usually for people when they come to the podcast, I ask some kind of business advice, growth, and I was thinking to do the same from you because you're starting kind of from zero artistic business and learning a lot, but I would like to ask a different question. What How could people unleash their creativity? How can people free themselves and actually open up those closed boxes? Because you mentioned, right, creativity is a muscle.
Yeah.
We can all train it, we can all get there, but if we look into nowadays society, I'm looking into my own example in some stages of my life,
Yeah.
it gets so suppressed because of some different tasks we are performing and a discipline that it's very hard to break through.
Yeah.
So
I think perhaps the best way to do it would be stop your expectations, start playing and having fun with it. You don't have to show it to anyone. Do it for yourself. And yeah, when you don't have an expectation of how it should look like, sound like, it gives you the freedom to actually play and experiment. And I think just start doing it and buy the artist way. I'm not sponsored by it.
okay, so very interesting. I was holding myself back, but still talking about the artist way, I think now when I look back, maybe I heard about that from you, but then I also heard from multiple people who are into different growth and
Yeah.
not only from the artistic way, but in general life growth.
Yeah.
And I finally actually got the book and I started my pages.
Yeah.
But today again, my day one for the third week because I did not continue for 7 days, but I did not give up. I read the
Yeah.
first chapter and I started doing it, but I see the potential in that book.
But I think that's okay. We don't have to finish it in a wonder,
Yeah.
you know? You can take it what you need from it now and then you remember it maybe a year later, maybe
Yeah.
two. But just, for me it was a catalyst for change and I know it helps a lot of people, but I again didn't have an expectation to finish the book and walk out a fully fledged artist,
No, but I think it's more like finding that time, right? Because in the book they say like what you have to write morning pages, you have to invite yourself for
Artist
a
day.
very artist day, like exclusively this one-on-one date with yourself, which is seems like we spend a lot of time by ourselves in nowadays society. Usually we're not avoiding that, but is it intentional or not? And sometimes it's difficult. So, but now I'm kind of today again. I started the day. I'm like, today is the day. That's it. Now I'm want to do it fully on. So I did my morning pages now again. I was like,
Exactly. Plan it,
Yes.
plan a little date with yourself in a gallery for an hour. It probably takes that much when you scroll, when you think.
Absolutely.
Just like allow yourself to, and you have to do it. I think that's again, you have to make these habits because it's very soon, it's easy to slip off. It's the same with diet, with everything. You feel amazing. You think, wow, I have so much energy. And then you suddenly see a slice of cake and you're like, I'll have a bit of that.
Okay, so let's start the artist way and see where it leads to unleash our creativity. But thank you so much. Good luck with your gallery lounge and all the event series. I can't wait to join as well.
Exactly. I'll let you know. I'll need some some people to come join me and chat.
Amazing. Thank you again. It was Iveta and have a good day wherever you are.